Today's video is the first of 3. It's a mini series done in City Skylines where I challenge myself to build the prettiest, the highest population, the most fun city possible within only one tile. People have done this challenge before. I've never done this challenge. Let's do it together. Gang, my name is Toadie and it is wonderful to have you here. We are flying over the tile that we will be confining our build within. We will not be purchasing any other tiles. There are 3 episodes to this series. Each episode has their own unique thing, flair, chutzpah that's happening within it. So be sure to catch all 3. Behind me, we are just about to dive in to the very first steps of this city, so I won't hold you up any longer. Let's get to it. This is where that initial time lapse got us up to. We have just been zoning things in with the zoning tool and letting whatever buildings come in we want. More on my reasoning for that later, but we have a high demand, of course, for industry and commercial. Now, this is probably eventually going to become a roundabout, but for now, we're just going to do that and bring the industry over this way. I think I'm going to have my usual caveat where I say this industry is going to be temporary. It's going to affect all of these beautiful purple trees, but we just need to have some going now, right? What was I doing for water? I was doing a little bit of this. Is that going to reach? Not quite. I never seem to plan out my road lengths well enough to like min-max the water piping. Do you guys have yours optimized? I'm very curious. Over here, we will put in some commercial to help satisfy that need. I'm gonna do like this whole thing. I think that'll be well enough. And then I don't want to do any on that side if I don't have to. And we might as well get some commercial in here. And then let's do plenty of industry all up in this way. Unpause and let it come in. We are already making our first dollars, so that's really exciting. That means that we're at a good spot. Our water usage is... Oh, I've already dropped it down like as much as I can. Okay, go past Toadie. She knows what she's doing. So let's do a little bit of that. And we are just going to follow the needs for a little bit. This first episode is going to be a lot of just following the needs and seeing what we can come up with in kind of like as tight of a space as possible. I would love to continue a little bit of a grid here. I know grids get a lot of flack, but sometimes I think they can be really fun. So I'm going to bring, yeah, I'm actually going to do that. That's not the nicest curve. We'll probably adjust that as well, but then from here I'm gonna try to get 2 45-degree angles. Perfect. And a nice way to break the grid is to just go off of that 45-degree angle and start doing your 90s from there, and it just kind of changes things up enough while still using the kind of like using all of the grid space, right? So here, let's do that. I think we're gonna do like so. And then over this way, I think we will end up doing this good. That's gonna destroy that house there, which I would rather not do if we don't have to. So instead, we'll just do that. Now, let's get rid of these and do a little bit nicer of a joint there. That's not exactly what I want, but we can kind of make it, oh, pardon me, excuse me. We can kind of make it what we want. This is awful, I understand, but we're making it good. Yeah, that's a little bit better. At least it's go-aroundable. I suspect we will probably see our Sims driving on 2 wheels around that corner. I've put the piping in and we are going to fill pretty well all of these in. for our housing demand. Might as well do that. In here, maybe we'll do a little bit of commercial. Honestly, we could just do that now, couldn't we? Get ready for the future coming in. That can be some commercial. Let's have those be commercial as well. And then there's really no harm with this being such low density. We're really not going to be expecting death waves, right? So we will just let that all come in. This is what happens when you just let things run and you don't really pay any attention, isn't it? I'm just going to crank these up to 100 because we are making enough money that it's really a non-issue. How are we doing for water? Let's also just put the water up to 100. That is quite all right. And we will reassess. Electricity's fine, water is fine. What is our first milestone? It must be pretty soon. 550, eh? That must be because there is so much buildable land on this map. If editor Toadie can remember, she will put the map on screen right now, and I chose this map for the amount of space that there is available on the starting tile to make this challenge kind of more doable. And I really like that there's 2 entrances from the highways into this starting tile. I deleted all of the water piping from outside of the starting tile, and then I realized it's gonna do that, but I think people can still go in there, right? But guys, who cares about toll booths right now? We've reached a little hamlet, so you guys know the drill by now. Garbage, healthcare, education. Let's do this. So we are going to put our, we can just resize it. Garbage. Now I've got 48,000 a week. What is this? 24,000 a week. And how much does this cost? 144, 240. We're gonna be pretty cheaty. It is bigger than usual, so I think that is going to be how I justify the cheaty asset. It really, honestly, it fits well enough there that I'm doing it. However, we're just gonna do that. Okay, perfect. And Medicare, healthcare, it can go right there. And then education, let us get, this looks pretty cool. Oh, of course, it's a Toronto school. It holds 700, whereas the original ones hold 300. I think that's okay. And I kind of like this little spot for it. Lovely. Now this house maybe doesn't want to be there, so let's do that and see what zones in instead. We'll get rid of that as well. Goodbye. Now our demands are low, but this is a great time for us to just kind of like build up some roads for future needs. I keep saying these are going to be like redone. So I'm just gonna do this road like that. They can drive all the way, that's fine. Just get some wonky grids in here. Oh, I should actually go all the way. I am trying a little bit to min-max the space, at least for the zoning. And we can do that. So that'll be future industry. And over this way, we can expand this low density layout even further. So, right, we are going to have to consider the fact that our life, our city ends here, right? Normally I would kind of think to follow this curve in the future, but that's not going to happen. So I think if we run a road along it, we will want zoning on the back side of it, right? So let's run our road like so. I actually think if we do the entire line, we've got the best chance of getting like a straight along line going. So yes, it may be a waste of funds, but I think it's going to be okay. So we've got the 4 tiles of zoning available all along. Great. And then we will bring it this way. I am trying to figure out kind of where I want to connect it. I was thinking right here, and that leaves us space available to do something there, like a port or something if we want that in the future. We'll delete that little guy, and why don't we do our usual nice curve this way. Then coming back to this space, if we were to bring this road all the way out, oh yeah, look at not enough money. We just need to kind of chill out, don't we, with all of this building, but that would be quite a bit of residential area, and I kind of like that. So that will be the future plan. Maybe to indicate that, I will just put that there, and we will just do a straight road up that way. Let's get some pipes in and continue to zone. So in here we will continue with the residential demand, I guess, right? Do it all of like that way. up here, this would be a good space for the commercial. And I wonder, actually for now, we might as well get commercial along here. We can always change that into something else at a later time. And our commercial need is still going to be pretty high. So I think we're going to zone this a little bit too. I might as well do that. Final zone in of residential and coming over this way to start our industry. And we have Worthy Village. So this is where industry gets to be a lot of fun. We also unlocked emergency services, right? So we will get those in, and then we will probably end up redoing the industry over here. So let's get the fire department in here first. We will put the fire... I do want it to be close enough to the industrial as well. So we're going to put it there. I think that's going to mean that we want to delete those. And police, we can fit in right there. Excellent. So coming this way and thinking about our industry, do we have any of these unlocked? We do not, and that's 1600. What I think we'll do with regards to the industry is for now, we will keep the generic industry up, and I can see myself bringing this forest over this way, just with like move it mods, copy paste, we'll just bring some trees over. But I would much rather use the industry's DLC. It kind of honestly will make the challenge a little bit harder, right? Because the industry's DLC industry stuff is so big. So I think that'll make things more fun, more challenging. So for now, let's just blop all that in. It's going to be quite an ordeal. Traffic might get a little crazy. And once we reach the 1600, I think it was that we needed, we will scratch all of this. We'll have a big redo and we'll put in the forestry. I am getting the population up in this little area here, and we've just reached the point where we need more electricity in this city. Scrolling through this list, I was kind of looking through everything I had, and look at this one. The cost $4.80, the power output 123 to 176. So we're just gonna put down a couple of those, and I just want to make sure I understand. It is producing an incredible amount of power. Amazing. We're gonna bring our electricity budget down. This is a very cheaty playthrough today. We are having no pride, and I'm here for it. We are going to need some more sewage output. So, and continuing with the tradition of trying to keep our like space usage small, we'll use another eco water outlet. We'll put it into the river rather than building like an inland water processing area like I normally would. Let's grab this and we can just connect it down here. We are almost at the 1600 population that we need. And it's just a matter of getting these folks to zone in. Boom, there it is, a tiny town, park areas, which is good, and the industry areas that we needed. Anything else? I always forget kind of once we get here. Right, high schools, yes. So parks, high schools, and then industry. Let's get a high school in first. We're going to boot these guys out of where they live and put down this high school because it just fits the corner way too well. That's really neat. That's a very cool asset. Throw in a couple parks and take this industry area through a couple steps. This is what I've been able to fit in so far up to level 2. We are almost at level 3, but even with that in there, I'm going to put this guy right here, get rid of those buildings, and it just barely fits, right? Honestly, I don't even need to move it with Move It. I realize the landscaping. Oh, okay, so the land is a little up and down. That's fine. We'll scooch it down a little bit. And then the rest of this, I will zone in with more industry. I am getting a little worried that I chose to do the industry's DLC, but you know what? I'm sticking with it, guys. I am nothing if not a trooper. And we've reached level 3. Just put in 2 more tree plantations and we're going to come back over here because we have a heck of a lot of demand for residential. And really, if we're going to bring this city kind of anywhere, we are going to need to get our population up, right? So, going to... we are broke. I'm going to get this area laid out with the roads and the buildings zoned in. And with this house on fire, we are almost at, which is the milestone? We are almost at Boomtown. So let's watch these guys zone in as we get there. They could probably use a park or two to convince them that this is the place to be, right? Let's put this one right in there. That's good. So many smiley faces and Boomtown. Here we go. Hey guys, we can unlock a new tile. Gosh, too bad we won't be doing that. Nor will we be doing an airport. There are a few things in here I'm sure we could use, right? Like the cemeteries. Those are going to be needed for our citizens. So we have to go from 2,800 all the way up to Big Town, which is 8,000. That's what I would really like to do. Keeping in mind how valuable your time is, I'm going to just build this up. You'll see the changes happen much more quickly than they actually do, and we are going to get ourselves to Big Town. We've done it. We've reached Big Town, and holy moly, what does that unlock for us? It unlocks another tile. Now, isn't that exciting? We get university now, which we will not be doing a campus area for. We get high density and offices, which is, I'm stoked. Metro we will be playing with, and so much more. Where do we even start? I think it is worth starting with the university that we unlocked, and I'm going to use the EU style one because I think we can get it in here if I Alt B and bob out these trees and then use Move It mod to scooch it forward. Right, we will have to be cognizant of where this pathway ends. Okay, let's see where we are if we do this. All right, then we will have to bring this to the end. I can argue that that would make sense. And then we come back here to Surface Painter, paint those out. That is totally reasonable. We can pretty that up at a later time. Then this area here, it would make sense to start to zone it in, right? So I think we're going to do quite a bit of commercial around here. I don't think I'm going to do any sort of zoned like specialty typing. In the next episode we might get into specialty stuff, but for now I just want to get things zoned in. We will definitely need some parks in here, so let's see what we can do. A baseball field would be wonderful, but they're just so large. Going to put a sunken plaza right there, and then can we do its like sister park, I guess, right next to it? I think those look really great together. I'm just gonna scooch them the tiniest bit. Okay, I think that's better. With all this being commercial, I think using the Paradox Plaza makes a lot of sense. Using parking garages actually also makes a lot of sense. So why don't we put, I'm going to say we can probably put 2 in here, right? So we'll do one like so, one like so, and as this zones in, they will need more residential. So it is probably time for us to start using our high density residential. So I'm gonna put that up in there. Let's do some offices in there now that we can. And what are you? You're a fire station. We'll do offices this side as well, but then start getting the residential here, and I'm going to grab this road and use the zoning adjuster to disable the zoning on it so that we get all of the zoning that we want on the other side, right? Come back over this way, high density residential, and that will attach to that road. For the sake of filling out this tile, we are just letting absolutely anything zone in, and what a mess it does create, eh? I love it, but I do hate it as well. That is a project for next episode. For now, we need to finish this road layout, and I think the best way to tackle that will be from up here. The roads and water are in, but we need to get this little section here tidied up. Are you really not going to let me upgrade it? Well, sucks to be you. I have Move It mod. Let's try this again. Yes, so I've upgraded that section to be the elevated road type and going to bring these two nodes up a little bit, but more effectively, I'm going to bring these two nodes down quite a bit, and then that will make that happen. Kind of looks a little whack, so with the help of Move It, we can scooch some things back, make some things look much better. Perfect. I am okay with this. I think cars would be able to get underneath there. However, this always happens, doesn't it? We have the light post like in the middle of the road, and there, I've scooched the nodes so the lamp post doesn't happen like that, and I'm fine with that being the way that is for now. Now, with us being over in this section, I would like to point out that our water is incredibly low, so we're going to do a little water service area over here. I know it's going to take up more space rather than just putting like water in and out of the river kind of thing, but it's gotta happen. I just can't be okay with having like 6 pumps coming in and out of the river. It just looks so rough. So we're gonna see what we can do over here. Getting rid of those trees, I think that works. Now, what are you? You're draining, so that's out. We need water in, which would be some of these guys. Put that one there. If we connect those up, what does that do for our water? Also, have we put water down in taxes or budget? No, we haven't. Okay, so water in is golden, drain less golden. Okay, we've got these little clarifiers. That's 112, that's 172, and these are big. These are slightly less big, and we're not gonna have anything that'll fit in there, will we? So I'm going to put 2 of these over here and see how much they help. Beautiful, love it. Now, with those all being there, I'm going to come back this way and I'm going to start deleting these. So let's get back into the water view and delete some of these. Yes, we will still need more processing. Are we going to be able to fit it over here? I'm going to make use of this area down here and do that. And I honestly am tempted to do a second one. We'll see what happens, what we need going forward. Let's do this. One last look at the water up here, and we're good for a while at least. So looking at power, we should be okay for a little bit. But we do also have all of these other services that need to happen. So recycling, we're going to put another recycling center up here. This is a pretty big building. We have put that recycling there, and that will cover us. Everything's green. I'm going to say we're probably good to go. Medical care, let's start putting in some bigger hospitals. We have this general hospital that I think if we can fit it in up here somewhere, we are pretty well good to go, aren't we? I'm going to put it right there. We still don't have access to crematoriums, so if we look at death care, our cemetery usage is still pretty darn low. I don't think it's going to become a problem, but it would be nice. And look how perfectly these fit in here. So let's do these graveyards once more, right in here. Would you believe me if I told you that I planned this? Maybe it's a little weird to have it in the middle of this like processing area, but we're going with it. Moving over to fire. Again, let's get this screen up. Looks like we really definitely need one up here and then maybe something over this way as well. Let's over here put this fire station N24. I might actually end up doing 2 fire stations over here, so we'll put this one right there, and then up this way we'll get the Alameda fire station. Oh, it's very small, so it's gonna fit right nicely in there. For police, similar kind of thing. It looks like this area and this area are the 2 that need it most. Honestly, I think I'm gonna end up using the vanilla police station. I think I'm going to use this police headquarters and going to put it right by this other fire station that we did. So that brings the green happiness of the roads all the way down there. Schooling, for capacity, I think we're fine. But as far as like spreading people out goes, we are less fine. So we've got a high school that we could put up here because it is the capacity that we need the most. So let's put one right there. And I think I'm going to put down a vanilla elementary school as well. So let's tuck that right in there just to give this area a little bit more coverage. We can put down parks as we go, but for now we need to get some zoning happening. Let's come over this way first, and we are going to crank the speed up to speed 3 and just have all of these guys zone in as we let the game play. I'm so sorry, you actually don't belong there, nor do you. Try not to zone high density housing on this main road here, but we can do this. We can do some of this. Let's do some commercial over this way and let these guys all come in. We may as well get some other parks happening in here too. I always go towards this Paradox Plaza. It's claimed to be the best bang for your buck of all of the vanilla parks, but we have other parks that we can use now. So we've got this skate park over here that I would like to put right there. Oh, we have the Chirper balloon tours. Now these would be better in an area that kind of feels more touristy, or at least more like shopping center. I think that will end up being kind of in this little section here. So why don't we put them right in there? We've got a basketball court we could use right here. Our commercial demand is coming in, so let's come to this area that we said would be catered a little bit more towards shopping. We can get some low density on the inside, and then why don't we get some higher density stuff happening? Except what I'm going to do is come out this way and do the same thing, disable zoning on this 6-lane road. I don't know if anybody caught it during the overview of me putting down all of the roads, but I actually accidentally had force like disable zoning on still. So of course I had to come back in and upgrade all of the roads with the zoning turned on, because you know that's a thing that happened. So we will just kind of continue zoning in. I think down this way we'll start to go towards more housing. Why don't we do the low density residential over this way as well? And let's disable, oh, I was going to disable zoning on this main road, but we are using it, so I won't do so. I'm going to do this though. And why don't we put some offices along the front there and start getting some commercial over here as well. We can get some high density residential in this middle area. As I have been continuing to zone in this area, just kind of following the need, we have so many places that don't have enough workers, educated workers, or just workers at all. I think something that we can do to help that is public transit. Now, with this being one tile, transit should be very simple, and I'm going to keep it simple. Oh my goodness, what is this? I just want to look at it. Ignore everything I just said. I guess it doesn't even... Okay, all right. Whoa. Okay, well, I mean, it's huge, but we're using it. That's gorgeous. Where can we... I mean, I guess I'm putting it down here, aren't I? Grab it, and... Space already occupied is kind of not what I'm looking for, game. If I place it over there, I'm trying hard not to turn anarchy on. When I place metro stations with anarchy on, the heights of things get really cranky. So we're going to scooch it down to that level. And then what I think has to happen is we need to take all of these other nodes and bring them to that height as well. And then it will be much happier. Great, so we've got one metro done. Let's look at where we can put some metro loops, right? This will be maybe the central area, and do we just have one loop for each corner? One loop for this area, one loop for up here, one loop for here. I'm very okay with that. So let's figure out though, how in here we can connect like 3 metro stations. Let's go for this area over here. It can be that one. For that area over there, it can be this one. And then for this area down here, it can be this way. I think those are separate enough that they aren't going to bump into each other. and then let me get the loops in. We have our metros in, and maybe that will help get some people to work. I'm not too sure, but our residential demand has come up as well. But here, look at these wiggly wobbly metro lines, but they do cover a large area, right? I realized after putting these in that I haven't put in any of the Content Creator Pack metro hubs, so maybe we can take a look at doing that. But for now, we are going to zone in kind of like the last of the areas that really need some zoning. So I'm going to get these all in around this. I will do some commercial in here, some offices on the side, and then more high density residential. And this will kind of be like our last little section. What do we want to put down here? Maybe we do a little bit of commercial this way. I'm gonna kick it up to speed 3. And then what haven't we zoned in? Over here, we haven't done zoning either, right? Right. Let's get some high density over here, high density back here, high density back here, and might as well do it all the way up to the recycling stuff, right? And as I finished zoning in the rest of the area and I stepped away for a quick moment to come back to the last milestone that we will reach today of Grand City, 22,000 population. Here is our city. As we do our last flyovers, you can see that there is quite a mix of the EU style buildings and the Western style buildings, and that is something that we will be correcting in episode 2 of this 3-part series. This episode was all about getting the road structure in and getting everything filled in, unlocking those milestones, seeing what we can kind of cram into a single tile with still being reasonable with how the city looks and is laid out. By the end of this series, I do hope to have this city up to my usual snuff as far as beautification goes and getting some detailing happening in here and really choosing where what buildings are going. Have you ever built a city only within one tile in City Skylines? Let me know about it in a comment below if you have, and if you liked what I've done with this today, please do give the video a thumbs up. But I think I have kept you long enough for one episode. So once the next episode is live, I will put it on screen right now. Until then, YouTube will tell you what it thinks is best for you to watch next. Please give it a click. Gang, I will catch you next time.